Once a tranquil paradise of ancient temples, breathtaking landscapes, and quiet traditions, now it's a country suffocating under the weight of its own popularity. From the neon chaos of Tokyo to the sacred peaks of Mount Fuji, from Kyoto's ancient streets to the peaceful temples of Nara, the crowds are everywhere. But the question is, can Japan survive its own success? What happens when the places we love become too much for the people who call them home? What happens when Japan's beauty is loved to death? Not too long ago, Japan was a place that people admired from a distance. The culture was fascinating, the food was world-class, but it was expensive, far away, and let's be honest, a little intimidating for foreign travelers. Then, everything changed. Japan saw an opportunity and launched massive campaigns to welcome visitors. The yen weakened, making it a bargain for international tourists. Anime, samurai history, cherry blossoms, and neon-lit cityscapes spread across social media, painting Japan as a must-visit destination. Flights got cheaper, visas became easier to obtain, and soon the world came flooding in. In 2010, Japan welcomed around 8 million international visitors. By 2019, that number had tripled to over 31 million. And by 2024, a record-breaking 36.8 million people. For businesses, it was a gold rush. Hotels, restaurants, and local attractions flourished. Tourist spending surpassed 8 trillion yen, or 51 billion US dollars. Japan had never seen anything like it, but beneath the economic success, the cracks had already begun to form. For locals, the shift was undeniable. Take Kyoto for example. Once a place where residents could enjoy a quiet morning at a temple, now entire neighborhoods feel like open-air theme parks. The influx of visitors has driven up rent, forced traditional businesses to close, and made daily life nearly impossible. In some districts, signs now warn tourists not to follow or harass geishas. Some roads have now been closed off to visitors entirely. And then there's Mount Fuji, Japan's most iconic natural wonder. For centuries, climbing Mount Fuji was considered a sacred pilgrimage, a test of endurance and respect. Today, it's a congested mess of hikers rushing to the top for sunrise selfies, leaving behind plastic bottles, food wrappers, and abandoned hiking gear. The situation had gotten so bad that the Japanese government had to step in, now limiting daily climbers and charging a mandatory fee to help manage the destruction. And in Tokyo, the city's busiest districts like Shibuya and Shinjuku are overflowing with visitors. Public transport is packed beyond capacity. Local restaurants that once served regulars now have lines stretching around the block. And Shibuya, famous for its chaotic yet controlled scramble crossing, had to cancel its annual New Year's Eve countdown due to safety concerns. For years, Japan tried to manage the issue with polite warnings and gentle recommendations, but that didn't work. So now the government is getting serious. Kyoto has started fining tourists for taking unauthorized photos of geishas. Mount Fuji has placed a cap on daily climbers, 4,000 per day, and introduced an entry fee to help with cleanup. Otaru, Hokkaido has hired security guards just to stop tourists from dangerously hanging off buildings for photos. And in Osaka and Tokyo, illegal Airbnbs are being shut down in an effort to stop residents from being priced out of their own homes. But even with these measures, the real challenge remains. Can Japan balance its booming tourism industry with the need to protect its culture, environment, and way of life?